Hi everyone, welcome to this BoldSign API tutorial. In this video, I'll guide you through the process of embedding the document sending workflow for eSignatures into your application. I'll cover how to generate the embedded request link and how to embed it in an iframe. Additionally, I will show you how to customize the toolbar at the top of the document editor. So, let's get started. To create an embedded request link, I'm going to copy the code snippets from the documentation. I navigate to the developer documentation on this topic, where I find a list of properties and their descriptions, along with code snippets in various programming languages. Since I'm using a console application, I copy the .NET code snippets and paste them into my program .cs file. I have already installed the BoldSign NuGet package. You can install it using the NuGet package manager. Next, I update the code. In the API client, I set the API key to connect with BoldSign services. If you haven't created your API key yet, you can create it in the BoldSign web app. The document client object is used to create the embedded request link like a regular document, but with extra properties for customization, which I will show later. You can upload your files, use templates, or allow users to upload their files and change the settings. You can set the form fields. But I'm going to skip this. I changed the document title and message. You can set the signer details and upload your files using a file path, byte array, or file stream. Since I allow users to send the document, I skip these properties. You can specify the document properties here based on your requirements. Next, let's look at the additional properties for customizing the request URL. First, the Send View option configures the initial page that loads from the generated URL. You can set this to either the filling page or the prepare page. The filling page allows you to configure document properties such as setting signer details and uploading files, while the prepare page enables you to configure form fields for the signers. If you have existing files or templates and want to send them for signing, you can create and set the Send View option to the prepare page to configure form fields and allow the senders to configure them, or allow users to upload their files. You can set the View option based on your needs. Since I allow users to upload files, I set it to the filling page. If you want to change the language of the content on the URL page, you can set the locale property. Please refer to the documentation for supported languages. By default, toolbar buttons will be hidden. You can display them by setting the Show Toolbar property to true. If you want to hide a specific button, you can do by setting the appropriate property. I hide the Preview button. I set the expiration for the generated request link. If you want to display tooltips on the prepare page, you can enable this property. I pass these properties to the create embedded request URL method, which generates the embedded request link. I then log it into the console. I run the sample, and the URL logged in the console. The document created using the embedded request will remain in the draft state until the user completes it and sends it out for signature. I copy the URL and paste it into the browser, where the filling page renders. Let's check whether the preview option in the prepare page is hidden. I'll add files and set the signer details to navigate to the next page. In the toolbar, expand the More Actions drop-down. The preview button is not shown. Next, I will show you how to embed this link in an iframe. You can integrate the link in your preferred way, whether that's using an iframe, a pop-up window, or a new window. I navigate to the developer documentation, where the code snippets for embedding the URL in an iframe are. These client-side triggers are used to control the embedded request page loaded in iframe. Additionally, the request link triggers the following client-side events in your application. I copy the code for creating the iframe and paste it into my HTML. I then set the generated URL to source attribute in iframe and run the sample. The filling page is rendered within the iframe. Next, I will show you how to customize the toolbar buttons and actions with client-side triggers and how the client-side events can be handled. I navigate to the console application and set the Show Toolbar property to false. I enable the navigation, save, preview, and send buttons by setting them to true. I run the sample, copy the generated URL, set it to the source attribute in iframe, and run the HTML sample. Now the toolbar is not shown. Next, I navigate to the developer documentation, copy the code snippet for creating custom toolbar buttons, and paste it in my HTML. I copy the scripts for the button actions and paste them into my HTML. Finally, I copy the code for handling the client-side events and paste it under the script tag. In the onCreateSuccess event, I add an alert with the message and run the sample. The custom toolbar buttons are now rendered. I now add the files and recipient details for the document. I click Next to navigate to the Prepare page, where I can configure the form fields. I drag and drop the signature field into place. I can preview the document and then exit the preview by clicking here. I save changes by clicking the Save button. Finally, I send the document for signing. The document has now been successfully sent for signing, and the onCreateSuccess event is triggered, displaying an alert message. That's how you customize the embedded sending process in your application. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more BoldSign API tutorials.